The Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities, or SARM, is trying to make it easier for farmers and rural residents to protect themselves and their families from violent criminals. At their annual general convention, SARM delegates just voted in favor of a resolution that would call on the federal government to, and I'm quoting here, expand the rights and justification for an individual to defend or protect himself, herself, and persons under their care and their property, end quote. Seems pretty reasonable to me, actually. It seems excellent to me. I'm all for this. Farmers often work alone, and rural crime is definitely on the rise here on the prairies as the economy worsens. There were several reports of farmers arming themselves in their combines, in their grain trucks, and in their tractors during last fall's harvest to protect themselves from this increasing number of thieves and criminals. I mean, who on earth could possibly be against making it easier for people to save their own lives when help is often more than half an hour away? Well, the National Farmers Union is against it, and the CBC went on to use them as a credible counter voice in the discussion about whether or not farmers should have increased abilities to protect themselves and their families. The National Farmers Union went on to release a statement that read, and I quote here, "We, the NFU, affirm the value of people over property. We do not support the ongoing colonial violence that continues to damage the social fabric of Saskatchewan," end quote. Stop right there. They want me to believe that a farmer would use the words colonial violence in a serious sentence and not in a mocking way. Come on. And they want me to believe that that same farmer would describe defending themselves from violent crime as colonial violence against the criminal? No way. Not a chance in hell. Being rubber boots deep in agriculture myself for my entire life, I've never even heard of these NFU people before. I don't know anyone who is a member of their organization, and I don't know a single person who even remotely supports them. So I started doing research. I went to their website to see what these people are all about. And they definitely aren't farmers advocates. They're a typical NDP front group based in Saskatchewan. But they certainly don't stop their cause at the Saskatchewan border. No, they helped push big labor laws like Bill 6 here in Alberta. And they support strange policies about climate change, as in they even advocate for a carbon tax, when legitimate agriculture groups like the Western Canadian Wheat Growers write op-ed after op-ed and run petitions against a carbon tax. The NFU still longs for the days of the Wheat Board, when Western Canadian farmers were arrested and jailed for doing what Eastern farmers could always do, and that was selling their own wheat to anyone they wished, whenever they wanted, without any state intervention whatsoever. The National Farmers Union even endorsed the LEAP Manifesto. Remember that crazy document? It's a neo-Marxist environmentalist manifesto. The NFU, of course, has a women's president, just for women's issues, because nothing says strong, independent farm women like, well, social justice quotas. This union is a fringe group of left-wing NDP farmers and their urban allies. You don't even have to be a farmer to join their union. Just look at this from their website. Associate members are non-farmers who understand that food issues are everyone's concern. So basically, you don't even have to have a flower bed. You don't even have to know how to grow a tomato plant on your apartment patio to join this farmers union and then go on to claim that you speak on behalf of all farmers. Seems legit, and yet the CBC used them as their go-to counter voice for farmers. It's always people who have a police officer no more than 5 minutes away who are telling rural people like myself that we should just try our luck with the criminals for the 30 minutes it takes for a police officer to find my strange rural address and eventually show up and maybe help me. But this just isn't about farmers. This just isn't about rural residents. The ability to defend your life and your family and property really is a human rights issue, no matter where you live. And still, the hard left would rather you be dead waiting for the state to show up and save you than for you to use a gun to save your own life. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.